Hi everyone, it's Dom again, and it's that time where I let you know what happened this week during trading. Now, this week's been a bit so-so really, quite a few up and downs, not just necessarily in the market, but I'm talking about overall in my life in general. So it hasn't been great. Market-wise, again, it's been okay, but today it's not been good at all, and that's the reason is because, or well, I believe it's because it's Brexit Day. So with that in mind, the markets, even the ones that are not British currencies, tend to be doing things that they don't usually do. So when I'm not sure what things are going to happen, I kind of stay out, or I go in small and then don't chase trades, because that way, I only go in when I'm pretty sure that my trades are going to work out, and if I've got any hint that things are not what they seem, then I'll either go in once, I don't go in at all, or I sit there for ages just seeing what's going on. But today I don't want to sit there for ages, so I just thought I'd give it a shot, see what would happen. I took a couple of trades, one lost, and you'll see that as I go through the week. Right, okay, so if we start off on Monday, the 27th, what you'll notice is that on the previous Friday, I finished on 8002. So the trade I'm placing here on Monday is for $400. That trade, as you can see, is on there and it's reflected in the balance at the top. Okay, if I move this along, we can see that that trade actually won and pushed my balance from 8002 all the way up to 8306.53. I then left it, decided not to go in anymore because on Monday the markets weren't particularly friendly, so I decided to stay clear. I wasn't sure 100% certain that trade was going to work out at one point, so that's why I was like, you know what, when I get that feeling, it's time for me to not go in, basically. If we move it along, right, so Tuesday the 28th, this recording was a bit pear-shaped, to be honest with you, because what happened was I thought I'd press record, and clearly I haven't, because I've just gone back to view the video footage and do all the screenshots, and for some reason I've got it from not halfway through, but after I've taken the trades, because usually I put them on as I place them trade by trade. So if we go into this and I'll have a look, I'll tell you. So anyway, if you can look here, I've got 3 trades outstanding here. I did place one at a time, obviously not 3 in one go. The first one was for $430. The second one was for, sorry, first one was for $415. The second one was for $830, which is 2 times 415, and the final one was for $1,000 because I couldn't trade any more than that. So if I move this along, we can see that the first trade for $415 got through. That was successful, which was great. The second trade for $830 also got through, which was even better. And the third trade for $1,000 also came through. So that pushed my balance all the way up to 10,192, as you can see there. And I finished trading for the day. I said, right, no, don't need to go in again. So that was it. Let's move it on now. Let's go to Wednesday, shall we? Yeah, so Wednesday the 29th. As you can see, I've only placed one trade here. I placed it for $509, which was 5% of that balance that I had, which was 10,000 or something. If I scroll along here, I also placed another $1,000 trade. It was supposed to be 509 times 2, but again, I can't trade more than 1,000. It won't let you. So I pushed it and I put 1,000 there, which, in all fairness, that is roughly about 15% or so of my overall balance. As you can see from the screenshot there, the first trade for 509 wasn't successful, it failed, didn't get through. But the second trade for $1,000 did come through. That netted me a profit. So I recovered my loss that I did for the previous trade, plus I got a profit as well with this one. So that's pushed my balance back up now to 10,513. So that was good. So Thursday the 30th of Jan, this was very good for trading, but I also received some really bad news as well. So we had a lot going on Thursday. Had to give a cat to get rehomed, and then found out that one of my relatives had also passed away. So my mum was pretty upset about that. She was first upset about the cat, and then that came in as well and just pushed it right to extreme limits. And then the icing on the cake was it also turns out to be the person who passed away, it turns out to be her husband's birthday, and he's still here as well. So it was just like disaster after disaster, and you just wonder what on earth is going on sometimes. But from a trading point of view, if we can have a look and see over here, my recording that I was supposed to do, I was doing it at my parents' house because of everything that was going on, and I'd done this prior to all that happening. So I was in a very good frame of mind at the time because none of this had really hit me at the time. And we can see here, the only thing was I hit record, and for some reason when I went to stop it, the whole system just crashed. It was just, I mean, obviously I had the internet still on, but my actual recording, it was just going round and round and round, and it wasn't saving or anything. And I was like, oh, what am I going to do now? So I thought, you know what, I'll just take a screenshot because it's easier. It's online, so it's fine. So this is what happened. I put a trade, as you can see here, at 11.19. I took a trade for 525. That came through, netting me a total amount of 971. So I made a profit there. I also took a trade at 11.20 because I wasn't 100% certain that 525 was going to come through at the time. That trade at 11.20 also came through, and that was a $1,000 trade. Pushed my balance up to it pushed it up again by 1860, and I took another trade for 1,000 at 11.24 that day. That also came through. So all those trades came through, and they pushed my balance all the way up. And by the end of it, I had let's have a look and see, 12,679. So as you can see from there, 12,679. That was my balance after all those trades had come through on the previous day. If you look at the date on the corner down the bottom, 31st of Jan, that's just today. I've deliberately just taken a screenshot with no trades because I wanted to show you what my balance was the previous day. Now, like I said, today has just been awful, aside from the fact that obviously the news is still hitting me about what's happened, but also the Brexit stuff. The markets just seem to be really one way, and no matter what currency I looked at, nothing looks in a good position. I did attempt to take a trade, and I thought, you know what, the most I'll use today is I'm going to use 10% in total, 5% for the first trade, and only 5% for the second trade. So I'm not going to double up because it just looked a bit iffy. So I didn't really want to go in. So I looked in to see what was going on. I placed a trade here, as you can see, for $633, which is 5% of that 12,679. That first trade I placed at 10.19. That didn't come through. That failed. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it one more go. And then if it doesn't work this time round, I'm just going to step away because, in all honesty, this week I've virtually doubled my account almost. I don't see the need of trying to chase trades to get the account back up again because it's already up for me. I'll wait till a better day when everything's in better positions. I took another trade again. I didn't double up. I took exactly the same 633 again. I took that at 9.49. As you can see, it's dropped the balance down to 11,413. And as we can see here at 9.47, that trade came through, pushed my balance up again by 11.20, took it up to 12,533. So it's not the same as when we finished, which was 12,679, but I've made a really, really tiny loss today of about 100 and something odd quid. So I think, what's it, $140, something like that anyway. And I'm not really too bothered at losing that. I'm not going to trace it because, again, the trade, the market just didn't look great, and I just thought there's no point. You know, overall, 12,533 is a really good level to be at. So I'm really happy with that. And I've now stepped out of the markets. And next week, like I said, Monday, I will be going live. I'm going to be going with real money now. Not going to be doing demos anymore. Just because I want to see if it's all working, because it's all very well, everything works like this in a demo, and then you go to a live account and then you do exactly the same thing, and then for some reason things just don't work out. But it's good to see that it's good to give it a go to see if that is the case or not. I personally think that everything will be fine, and there should be no issues in trading. Obviously, I'm going to start with a really tiny balance of about 50 quid or something like that, just to mess around with and do what I've been doing. And keep you guys informed and show you what's happening, so that if after I take that 50 quid up to 100, I'm probably going to go in with a £100 and then bringing it up to 200, etc., etc., just to see if it's working and that I'm getting the money withdrawn to my account when I request it. Once I've confirmed that and everything is working as it should, then in March I'll start the group. I'm going to give it a month to test because I don't want to get anyone's hopes up and then have them, go into pocket options and find that they can't withdraw for whatever reason. I'd rather, try it myself, make sure that everything is working as it should be before I even mention anything like that. And remember, the group that I'll be starting will be teaching you how to trade, but ultimately your success will really depend on you because you need to have patience, you need to have discipline, you need to know when to say no, you need to be able to see what's happening in the market and decide whether it's good to go in. My own analogy is the markets are like driving a car. You come to a roundabout. When you get to that roundabout, you can see all the cars going around that roundabout and they're all indicating where they're going to be going, so you can see that. Most of the time, if you use that and you can see where your cars are going, you're not going to get hit. You are going to go clear. You're going to get to where you need to go to without any incident whatsoever. But now and again, there's a car that doesn't indicate, and when it doesn't indicate, you sometimes make an assumption that it's going to go in a certain direction. All of a sudden, it changes direction, and if you're not careful, it will hit you. The idea is that firstly and foremostly, we want to make sure that the car doesn't hit you. So in order for that to happen, again, that only comes with experience. With a car, it's road experience, road sense. That comes with time. Same thing with the markets. It comes with time. You'll know when to stop to make sure that you don't get hit. And when you're a beginner, the idea is if you do get hit, that it doesn't kill you. So with the markets, if you do get hit and you do lose money, it's no biggie. It's like a little dent in the side of the door or a little, a tiny accident. It can be easily repaired and you're fine. But if you go in and you go in big, so for example, you have no sense whatsoever and you just go in and you say, fine, I'm going to go in with this amount, and then the car hits you, it will make you a write-off and you're out of the markets, you're completely gone. So you have to restart and you have to get a new car, in which case, in this case, you have to go and re-put all money all in again. And then sometimes it's really demotivating because you're very wary about going into the markets again because you've just been completely annihilated. I won't be, like I said, I'm not qualified to give financial advice. I'm not giving anybody any financial advice at all. All I'm going to do in March is just show you what I do and how I analyze the markets and how I decide when I go in. That's not to say that you should go in, but that's saying how I cater for it and how I go in. And the idea is that when you're doing trading, is to make it automatic. If you are trading off emotion, you're going to find it very hard and very stressful, and most of the time you're not going to succeed. And any beginner or any novice, they will trade with emotion to start with because that's only natural. You have to forget what you've learned from from when you're growing up. And what I'm saying is imagine you are cooking, and I'm not a cook, by the way, by any stretch. I'm absolutely crap at cooking. But if you, okay, as a child, if you're learning to cook and you're even as an adult, you go and you put something on the fire and you're watching it burn, right? Okay, or you're not watching it burn, but you put something on the fire. If you take your hand and you place it into a pot which is on the fire, your hand is going to get burned, right? So you will never ever put your hand there again because you know what happened. And it hurt, right? So, and it's a bit stupid, so you wouldn't do that, right? With this, you have to go and put your hand there again. You go and you put your hand in the fire, and you may get burned again or you may not. It just depends on how you approach it. If you put your hand in the fire and you had a fire glove on or something that's fire resistant, you won't get burned. You can take your hand off and you've been there and you've done the same thing. It's the same thing with the markets. The only difference is you have to keep going there and going there and going there. And eventually you'll kind of get a feeling, get a rhythm of what's going on. And once you get into that rhythm, you'll feel when things are going up. A bit like salsa, for those of you who do salsa and are watching, when you're getting your timing, you don't count the beat anymore or hear the beat anymore, you feel the beat. Same with the markets. It's like, that's a beating heart. When you start feeling what's going on, and your gut starts to tell you, okay, fine. Not even your gut, but it's like you start to feel what's going on in the markets, and you can see, and it's a whole new perspective of seeing things. And once you've got that and you get into that rhythm, it's very easy to predict what's going on, and what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. Of course, there are times when it won't go exactly the way you plan, like I've shown you, and it's those times when you say, right, no, I'm not sure. Step away, leave it be, don't go back in. Anyway, I hope that's been of some use to you. I know it's only an analogy, and as you go in there, and you probably will lose money at some point or the other, because I did when I first started. Um, you are going to lose a bit of money, but the idea is make it, once I show you what I do and how I do it, the idea is to make that a strategy. So when the time comes, there is no hesitation. You just take the trade. Done. When you're trading with emotion, you watch it go to the certain wherever you want it to go, and then you're like, should I do it or shouldn't I do it? Blah, blah, and you think about it, and by the time you thought about it, the opportunity is long gone. Bye now.